Mindset of the $1,000,000 earner. Mindset number one, treat your business as if you paid $500,000 for it. Now, if you paid $500,000 for your business, would you show up for work? Now think about that. If you gave me a check right now for $500,000 and I cashed it and it cleared and it was non-refundable, would you show up for work? Well, of course you would. Well, this business is no different. You have to show up for work. Now, the challenge is that we let the upside of this business create a downside for us. Now, the upside of this business is the fact that you can get involved for, in most cases, less than $500, and with ambition and drive, you can create $1,000,000 a year. Now, the downside of this business is that because it only costs $500 or less in most cases, you know what you do? Nothing. You don't work. You treat it like you paid $500 for it. You treat it like it's nothing. Instead of working your business and running your life around your business, you run your business around your life. Now, the downside is because it costs you $500 or less to get involved, you don't take your business seriously. Now, would you get fired if you didn't show up for work at your current job? Well, of course you would. Well, this business is no different. Actually, it is a little different. You know what the difference is? You can't get fired. But the fact is, you still end up with the same result at the end of the month. And that's what we're really looking at, is the result. And you know what that result is? You will not have money at the end of the month to pay your bills. Now, let me ask you a question. Would you work overtime at your current job 1 to 3 hours per day for 3 years if your boss would give you a $15,000 a month retirement in 3 years? Think about that. Would you work for 3 years, overtime, 1 to 3 hours, if you knew that at the end of that you were going to get $15,000 a month for the rest of your life, or as long as that company was going to be in business? Well, you know what? That's the opportunity you have here. You have the opportunity to create a very large amount of money working an extra 1 to 3 hours per day in the network marketing industry. You can do that in this industry. How do I know that? Because I've seen many people do just that here in this industry. You must treat your business as if you paid $500,000 for it. If you're looking to be successful, that is what you have to do. Mindset number two. I will stay focused on building one network marketing company. Now, you can't catch 2 chickens at the same time. You can't ride 2 horses at the same time. Great philosophers have clearly said that you can't serve 2 masters at the same time. Now, when you work more than one company at the same time, this is what happens. Number one, you confuse your downline. They don't know where your loyalty stands. Number two, trust issues. Okay, trust issues begin to arise, and your downline will not know if you will enroll someone that they just enrolled into your other company. Number three, your credibility is diminished in the eyes of your downline. Therefore, your leadership abilities diminish. Did you know that leadership begins with trust and credibility? And if you don't have trust or credibility, you have no real leadership. Number four, most people cannot afford 2 separate auto ships, so they quit both. Folks, you got to realize people are having a hard enough time with one auto ship, especially in the way the world is today. And you're over here looking to get them to spend more and more money on all these different auto ships. You know what happens? They get to the point of frustration where they stop all of it. Number 5, you spend twice as much money to make half as much money. Let me give you an example on how that works. 5A. You spend on 2 separate meetings instead of 1. 5B. You spend on tools for 2 separate companies instead of 1. 5C. You spend money for 2 national conventions a year instead of 1. 5D. You spend half the time working on each business instead of a solid focus on one. You've got to stay focused on one. It's hard enough to build this business as it is. And you're over here thinking you're going to take half the time to put everywhere else? It does not make sense. You've got to stay focused on one business. Isolate your time when it comes to this business and you will be successful. Folks, I can go on and on and on and on, but for the sake of you listening to me just harp at you here, just know you must stay focused working one business. Mindset number 2, I will stay focused on building one network marketing company. Now, mindset number 3, I will make a commitment to learning, helping others, and working my business daily. Now, what is the definition of commitment? Commitment is the elimination of all other alternatives. No matter what, I am going to do what it is that I said I was going to do. When your favorite TV show comes on, it doesn't matter because that's not another alternative. The only alternative you have is to do what you agreed to do. Okay, when something else comes up outside of you deciding to watch your TV program, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because that's not an alternative. There's only one alternative, and that is the commitment that you have laid forth. That is commitment. There is absolutely no other alternatives. Now, what is it that we are to learn? There are 4 major things we're going to learn. Now, number 1 is you must learn the business. You've got to understand how this business works. Number 2, you must understand your company. Learn your company. Understand what your company is about. What is it they're doing? What's their passion? What's their drive? What is happening with inside your company? What are their products, etc., etc. Number 3, the product. After you understand what their products are, you got to know what their products do. Learn your products. Now, number 4 is my favorite, and I think the one that we should all have before we have all the others. And you know what that is? Self-improvement, personal growth. Because it does not matter how much you learn of everything else. If you do not have the self-improvement or personal growth to implement things in a correct fashion, you will not. Remember, 90% of your success will be personal growth. Now, helping others. We've got 2 types of people. We've got business builders and we've got product users. Now, we treat the business builders differently than we treat the product users. However, we work just as much with the product users as we do the business builders. Remember, 80% of your business is going to be product users. Do not alienate your product users. That is going to be the mainstay of your business. It doesn't matter if they decide they'd like to work the business. You still must work with your product users. Understand that. However, your business builders are the ones who are building the business. So really stay focused with those business builders. Now, number 2, you must help people with 1 through 4 of the learning process that we just spoke of previously. Okay, number 3, you must teach people how to be consistent and loyal product users. They must be a product of the product. Now, working daily. What is working daily? Working daily is working 5 days a week. Now, if you're a part-time business builder, that's 1 to 3 hours per day. If you're a full-time business builder, that's 3 or more hours per day. Mindset number 3, I will make a commitment to learning, helping others, and working my business daily. Now, mindset number 4, this is key, and this is where most network marketers get into trouble, and that is longevity. I will give my business time to develop. You must understand that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. You must make a 3-year commitment. So, let's go into how this works. Months 1 through 6. That is your foundation building period. There's been very little money earned and you're highly overworked and greatly underpaid. See, that's the point in this business where most people give up because they've worked for 6 months and they feel like they're not obtaining anything. They feel like this is all for nothing. But let me give you an example here. Everybody's heard the story, well, most people anyways, have heard the story of if you double a penny for 30 days, on your 30th day, you've made over $10 million. Whereas, did you know day 15, you're at what, $327 approximately? Okay, approximately $327. You're halfway through the month and you're nowhere close to $10 million. If you'd have gave up on the 15th day of that penny doubling, you wouldn't have $10 million. But if you stick with it, you know what? You would have $10 million. Well, it's the same thing here, but we're not doubling pennies. Is what we're doubling is people. Months 7 through 12. This is where you're building upon your foundation. This is where you begin to see duplication happen. This is where things are beginning to move forward a little bit. You're still greatly overworked and highly underpaid. Okay, we're still working our tail off. But see, when you compare that to other businesses, such as a business where, well, let's say you put $1 million into it because it's a franchise, and you're working 12 to 16 hours a day, and you still haven't made any of your money back yet, but yet you're still working 12 to 16 hours a day, and it's much harder work, and you have to be there. Where with this business, you're very little money in, you're still working hard, but it's nowhere near 12 to 16 hours a day, but you still have the potential to keep going and growing your business to the point where it becomes very, very, very effective and efficient for you. Now, months 13 through 18, this is where you start to see consistent income. This is when it starts to get fun. You've got a residual income coming in. You're done with your first year. You've been through the hardest part of this industry or this business, and you're starting to develop some money. Now, months 19 to 24. Now you're starting to earn enough money to surpass the average person's income in retirement. This is when it gets fun. You know, you're making, $2,000 or more a month in many, many cases. And then, of course, you've got those that really go to work, and they're making much more. However, for the average individual, you're making more than what most people did in their retirement, which took them 40 years to get. You did this in a year and a half to 2 years. Now, let's get to months 25 to 36. This is where you're building your retirement as big as you choose. What is it you would like? How big would you like your retirement? This is when things start moving on an exponential rate. This is the point when you do this business correctly, where things start magnifying to the point where you start seeing a lot of money coming in. So, we must stay focused. And not just stay focused, but we must give our business longevity. Okay, we must give our business longevity. So mindset number 4, longevity. I will give my business time to develop. Mindset number 1, treat your business as if you paid $500,000 for it. Mindset number 2, I will stay focused on building one network marketing company. Mindset number 3, I will make a commitment to learning, helping others, and working my business daily. Mindset number 4, longevity. I will give my business time to develop. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.